I'm so glad that I was on mute for that because I struggled to say the intro, which is here we are with Chapter 12, spoilers for Chapter 5 onwards, obviously, and also spoilers for this path. Yeah, I'm so glad that that was a double fail. I didn't work out how to use words in my intro, and I also was on mute. So, yay me for working out how computers work. So let's go to the inner shrine where Minoru's hanging out. And yeah, we'll get started for the end of the game. Or at least for this playthrough. Oh look, we can even see that there's looks like the priestess there, which I guess is Miyuki with Fanglongmon, and yeah, so that's exciting. Oh, I had a pretty good feeling that this random shrine with the cave paintings was going to be relevant. I don't know why these characters couldn't work that out. Now, I wonder if Minoru's hanging out here because he's the one I've got with the highest affinity, or if it's always Minoru. I love every time I get an affinity up with Minoru. I just feel like it just makes me so happy. Also, I'm wearing like a billion layers because it is so cold today. It was actually kind of warm yesterday, but for some reason just today's been just... I mean, it's winter. It makes sense that it's cold. But I've just been so cold. I should remove my gigapets from near the microphone because that's just going to keep on tap tap tapping. Oh yeah, that's right. Previously on Dragon Ball Survive, that was probably one of the coolest things in the game happened, and I keep on saying that things in this game are cool, so there's a lot of cool things going on in this game. Again, I'm pretty sure that this game just has different ways of showing how different people can show their own anxiety and show their own issues differently. So, I do kind of like that. It's more realistic. Minoru is a good boy. Go straight. I don't think I can go straight. Who would have thought that behind this thing was an entire passageway? We never thought of looking. Okay, so I guess these are my final chances to get affinity up with people. Sleep is for the weak! Actually, it's a weekend, so sleep is for the weekday, I guess. So that makes sense. Oh, this one's really hard. Yeah, I went with Park. Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my next playthrough when I can just use a guide. Once I've decided on which path I'm doing next. Similar, as in I'm dead. No. I hope no more characters die. Yeah, I can't get over how cool that was. That was so cool. Hey, new follower, thank you. So yeah, this is my final chance to affinity up with everyone, I guess. And I'm really hoping no more deaths. Because they are sad. Oh, this is scary. Wonder what that could have been. It's interesting how different characters are addressing Plutomon / Aoi is different. Like, some characters are calling her Plutomon. We've got Miu who's calling her by Aoi. And so is Takuma, I guess. Oh, there they are, the holy beasts. How many of them are there? There are 4. How many do I currently have in my group? Also 4. The Olympus 12 are there. I can't remember Azu because I was just far too excited. But were you in the? Did you watch the end of my last chapter 11? Because I can't remember if you were there because I freaked out far too hard for far too long. Okay. Do you want me to tell you what happened? Because it is for specifically this path, so the Wrathful path. Okay, so what happens is that Aoi dies. She finds Piedmon who is injured and is like, hey Labramon, heal Piedmon. That's of course a really dumb idea. Piedmon murders her and murders Labramon. And in their dying breath, they both like join hands. And then that causes them to biomerge / matrix evolve and fuse. And then they become Plutomon. So that was probably the most baller thing I've seen in my entire life. Hello, the digital hazard. I hope you didn't just hear what I just said, because it is a spoiler. I was just filling Azu in something that she missed when she was asleep in the end of the last stream. But it was just exceptionally baller. I was just... it was really cool. Like... Yeah, it was even cooler than the Shuji moment. I love these murals so much. Yeah, I know, right? Like, how intense is... Like, it was just a really cool moment. It was just probably one of my favorite things in this game. And it even surpassed the Shuji moment. Because I love a dark evolution. So, that is why the Olympus 12 are there, I guess. So, that's baller. I mean, I'm a big fan of that evolution too. Also, aren't the Olympus 12 meant to be in the next Digimon story game? Okay, it didn't let me talk to Kaito and up his affinity, I guess. Unless I completely missed it, which whoopsies. It's still sad that I didn't get anyone else to Mega. Just a perfect. Okay, maybe this is my moment where I get to talk to him. This is really... this is so hard and stressful. This one. I guess I missed the affinity up there. Apparently we're getting SMSs now. sad that I guess I missed that affinity up moment. Unless I'm just talking to the characters. I would probably do that too, to be honest. I was about to say I'd probably put it on airplane mode to save battery, but the battery doesn't go down, so that's unrelated. I mean, of course something weird is going to happen. Something weird is always happening in this game. Oh, that was the wrong thing for me to say. That was really the wrong thing for me to say. Yeah, that is true. I should have known better, honestly. I can't get over how cool that looks. Like, honestly. That is so cool. Of course, even Rio. Hey, remember that guy? He died like 10 chapters ago, but you remember him? Hello. How you doing? Jeez, this is tense. Huh? I'm gonna tell Chloe that you said that. Yeah, I'm just gonna post that in, Actually, no, that'll be a spoiler. I was about to say I'm gonna share that with Chloe, but no, I want Chloe to play this game. I don't think she wants to, but I'm gonna make her, so... but one day I will tell her that you said that. That you're making the Evangelion references. But yeah, no, that's exactly what she's trying to do, actually. So I guess it's time for the Evangelion references. I really am wishing that I got other characters to get to Mega, not just Perfect. Because I think I'm gonna struggle. I mean, obviously Renamon can. Oh yeah, I like the first Tamers movie, but it makes me really emotional. Oh good, it heals randomly all the time. That's good. Oh, look at the battlefield. They've got the Kenzoku coming out of the floor. Oh, that's gross. I love it. Well, 51% accuracy. Yeah, there's lots of armor forms in that. I like when they remember the writers remember that armor forms exist. I think we've almost seen them all animated at this point, except for like Rinkmon. I think Rinkmon is like one of the only ones we haven't seen animated. Maybe also Togemogomon, but I'm not 100% if we've seen that one. I love Mugendramon. That's cute. Like, I'm gonna live up to your expectations. Will that reach? Oh, it will, technically. And it didn't miss, surprisingly. Oh, I don't like Plutomon's scream when you hit her. That I can probably do without. That was scary and sad. Because it sounds like Aoi, not, you know, anyone else. Oh, doesn't reach. Is that really the that really was the furthest I could walk. I think I might give the defense buff to Yatagaramon because he's kind of squishy. And that's what I've noticed, that like he is very squishy. Ugh, her movement noise is just so gross despite the fact that she's just floating. It just sounds like a slug. I guess it makes sense because Syakumon's clam. But what? I guess... I don't know. Oh, okay, I guess Mugendramon's somehow faster than Plutomon? This is surprisingly not going too badly. Clams are just fancy slugs. Oof. Oh, why did it get to counter? That's not fair. And now I don't have Labramon, I don't have the healing. Which is kind of sad. Yeah, that would be cute. That would be very cute. Ah, good. Huh. Okay, so, like, I put it back to normal after the Piedmon fight, but how was that battle easier than the Piedmon fight? Where I had to reduce it to easy in order to hit any hits, basically. I'm guessing it's because it's not actually the final boss and I have to fight the master. That would make sense, I guess. But, yeah, it's just Piedmon who cheats. There could be a second phase, I guess. Technically, that was like the second time I fought Plutomon, but Plutomon kind of like... I went to half health and it did the scripted, like, I can do an attack that, like, wipes your whole team out. But it was in a cutscene. Is Kaito gonna murder Plutomon? Okay, he is gonna murder Plutomon, that's baller. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Plutomon before, but he looks so cool here. I honestly couldn't recognize him until someone said it was Plutomon. All our friends have died. I mean, only 3 of them. Most of them are still kind of alive. Woof. Oh no, is Renamon dying? Does that mean Miyuki's dead? That's sad. I mean, we know the one thing that makes Digimon randomly die. Yeah, I think they're like... I think they're the god ones. They're all gods. I mean, they're all based on gods. Oh, this is sad. Oh, she was... Oh, that's a shame. She was really good in battle. That's really cool. Like, I like the Olympus 12. I'm glad we're getting more Olympus 12 stuff. I'm really sad Renamon's dying, though. I always thought the Olympus 12 of being, like, above the Royal Knights. Because they're gods. Oh, this is terrifying. Oh no! Oh, I think we're in that, like, between world again. I guess. No, we've been here before. It's like, it's kind of like, I guess, between the worlds, but now it's just reminding me of the end of Digimon Adventure. How, like, a Pokemon puts them into, like, the in-between place. Oh, that's cool. But no, the bad end is like when you get sent back to the digital world in, back to the human world rather, in part 8 I think it was, and you can either go back and say various things to Agumon that influence what end you, what path you take, or you can say I'm staying in the human world, and that's the bad end. But yeah, this is like a world that I went to before I was sent to the human world in that part. Very briefly, though. I mean, I don't think this is necessarily a bad end. I think this is just the Wrathful ending. But I'm assuming I still have to fight the Master. And yeah, I mean, you can't actually get, like, the true ending the first playthrough anyway, so there's no real bad end except for that ending from part 8, where you say, no Agumon, I'm not going back to the digital world, I'm staying in the human world. That's the bad end. We should fight. I mean, yeah, that's just like a lot of games that have the different endings just to call that like there's a bad ending where things just end a lot earlier, and that's that's already in chapter 8. But the true ending, and then there's just good endings. So I would assume that this is the same sort of thing. So I'm wondering who the Master is. I'm thinking Hanglongmon just because we saw him in the cave paintings. But that could also be a good character that is formed from the Holy Beasts. Which there are also 4 characters. But none of them can reach Mega, so I don't think that that's going to happen. Oh, that's cool. That is very... Okay, I know I don't like when people make Persona things like, oh, this is so Persona, but that is very Persona. That is very Evangelion. It's also very Persona. Oh, actually, I want to use Spinomon just because he's a mega. So is the master like... Yeah, it's just a fusion. It's... so the master, I guess, is like a non-Digimon entity, I guess? Like, it was that orb? Yeah, I guess so. It is very Apoclymon. Yeah, it's called Plutomon Fusion, apparently. But that was very cool. Oh, it doesn't reach. That's annoying. I can't believe he has like 3 hitboxes. That's how big he is. I guess I had to move up faster? Further, rather? Oh, I don't know why I haven't evolved yet. I was about to try to 1v1 him with Agumon. I don't know why I wasn't thinking there. Oh, can I move up? Actually... Oh, I can't move again. I made a boo-boo. I want to see if I can hit all of his hitboxes, but I moved to the wrong... I thought that it was there, but I'm actually here. It just went weird all of a sudden before that attack. It's like it can't handle the battlefield because the battlefield makes no sense. I'm gonna give Yatagaramon the defense buff because he's squishy. Oops, facing the wrong way. I'm a dumb... Oh, no. Oh, why did I stand there? Oh, that was a really dumb idea for me to stand there. Did I even move? That's my only chances to move up, but I guess if I keep on healing them, then it might be okay. I love its little moving animation. Apparently just can't reach. Alright. Woof. Oh, Yadagaramon. Oh, Mermaidmon. Oh dear. I don't know, because it does the... It only does, like, rook movements. So it would still be in range of the attack. Yeah, because it kind of blinks out. It's just kind of weird how it centers it like that. Oh, it counters like that too. That's not fair. I don't think he is on all fours. He's got his arms up. Oof. And yeah, they kind of look they're dabbing when they're doing the defense stance. Oof. I don't think I can move out of range. The range for that seems pretty good, or pretty bad rather. Or maybe it doesn't move. Oh, I was in range. It's just so weird how it transports across the map. I don't think I can... Does it reach there? My attack won't, but that's... The opponent's attack will... Can I just, like, cheese it out and just, like, stay out of range? There must be a phase 2 where it can start to move, right? Because it feels like I can just... Wait a minute. I don't think I can't reach from there, can I? Huh, technically I can, okay. I'm thankful for Mugendramon's random attack. Okay, this is stupid. I mean, you know what? The only reason, like, no other of my Digimon can attack like this because it does that sort of like that range there. But everyone else would have to be in range of his attack. But Mugendramon, because he does like an area attack, I guess any, I think Spinomon's attack is also like this. And Sukuyamon's attack, I guess that's why they killed off Sukuyamon. Because her attack, she could just stand in that corner and then just hit all 3 hitboxes. This is just really funny that I can stand completely out of range, so it just doesn't move. Like, surely there must be a part 2 where it starts to move, and then I'm not gonna have a good time. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy the fact that I can just stand there and do this. Like, just do this forever, apparently. Is the damage low, though? I'm gonna run out of SP eventually, but then I can just use SP recover. I'm gonna have to use SP restore next turn. It's just so weird that it just phases out. It's really sad that still using her noises, though. Oh no, I should probably heal then. I guess I can evolve again. That's no issue. I can use the item and then... Do I have a... No, that's a range one. I'll just use... which is the best one that I can use? Yeah, I'll use this one. I swear it said I had 3 of those last time I used it. I'm so good at video games, y'all. Just phases out of existence to jump in front of them and then phase back out of existence to go around the corner. I'll use another SP heal in my turn. I don't have any of the big boys. So, where are we? Yeah, there's no revive, which is what I've mentioned a few times, that it's weird that there's no, like, Phoenix down or what have you. I'm using all my items, though. Which is gonna really suck, because I'm assuming there's a phase 2. Because I refuse to admit that this would be the final boss, considering I can just hide around a corner. I hope I have another SP heal somewhere. I think I have a Slightly one, but I don't think Slightly's going to do anything. Yeah, I'm just clearly very good at video games. I've got a full restore of the age. I don't know if I want to use that. Because if there's a phase 2, YOLO, right? Just restores everyone in range, all one of me. Wait. It only restored, like, not that much. Okay. Oh, it's still alive? Oh, I can't even move up to hit it once. Has a lot of HP, apparently, is the answer. This is really silly. I'm assuming there's a phase 2. I'm assuming that, like, the master separates and then reveals itself and then I have to fight that or something. I used up so many items just for that, though. Until I realized, like, I should have just made them all hide and then just used Mugendramon the entire time. And Spinomon, because I know Spinomon does have the same sort of area attack. And I think Azu was just like, I think Azu asked the rhetorical question of, like, you know, how much HP does it have? Like, that's a lot. Also, I love how it's like, I like how they're all exhausted and Mugendramon's just like, I was standing behind a corner. Haunting. Horrifying. Oh, this is terrifying. No, I'm pretty sure what beat the master was me hitting him repeatedly with cannons. Horrifying. Yeah, I was thinking it was a bit like Monica, yeah. Huh. I guess if she absorbed the master who had absorbed Miyuki, I guess she would have that power. Currently being lost to a cannon boy hiding behind a corner. Yeah, basically. At least it's just Plutomon, which doesn't have the huge area of fight, and I'm assuming, and also it's not Piedmon, which was also difficult. Plutomon was actually the easiest bad character to fight. Unless, like, they've just ramped Plutomon up for this battle. Which is possible. But I don't have that many healing items left, so... Yeah, this would have been a lot easier if I had, you know, been able to raise the affinity enough to evolve everyone. Yeah, being able to walk is better, yeah. But yeah, I like Spinomon's attack. It's pretty cool. It's like an area attack, so that would have also been kinda... This would have also been useful in the Plutomon fusion fight. Yeah. That was still really funny that I could do that. And yeah, I wish I'd figured that out sooner because I would have had Spinomon there. Like, none of my other dudes would have been able to hit from that safe area. But it would have been fairly cool. I don't think I can hit it from there, no. Accuracy 94%. I'm so like... I'm just so happy about every accuracy that's not fighting Piedmon. And on Chromon because squishy. That does so much damage. Oh lord, she coming. Oh, apparently the only way I can move to in range of that Attack is... Oh, wait. Oh, probably the side. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Oh. I really like how you can, if you move the wrong amounts, you can just tell them to go back. Like, imagine doing that if you're playing chess with someone. It'd be supremely annoying. Ah, why is everything missing? Oh yeah, I forgot how much the moving was. I can't reach that, can I? No. In chess they can't hide behind corners. No, you are right. In chess they can't hide behind corners. Be pretty sweet if they could, though. Oh, I don't think I can reach Mugendramon. Oh, can, okay, cool. I would have been really sad if that missed. Like, I still can't get over how many times I missed with Piedmon. Oh, I really hate how it heals like 500 HP every turn. Oh, good, I finally missed. But yeah, it finally missed, rather. But yeah, I really can't get over how... where is it? Oh, okay, right over there. Yeah, I can't get over how many times I missed point blank against Piedmon. Oh, how the turntables. Is that gonna reach? Yes. Oh, accuracy 71%. Hit though, which is good. I love how it's got like an area effect, and yet it could probably take out like a lot of other dudes, but it's focusing on Mugendramon because I guess Mugendramon's the threat. It did hide behind a corner before. Oh, why? It is pretty good at hiding behind corners, though. Oh, I don't think I can reach from there. Not that Mermaimon does much damage anyway. No. I don't think I can hit from there either. No. Yeah, cornering her. I'm really happy that didn't miss, because I did the exact same shot against Piedmon and I missed a bunch of times. Again, the turntables. Is that? Yeah, that's... Oh, that might not reach. Oh, nope, it reaches. Oh, 61% though. Hey, still hit. Please hit. Good. I'm glad the Mugendramon moves first because I can move out of the way. And then it seems to only be like hitting, seems to only like hitting Mugendramon. Okay, apparently that, I can't hit, that's apparently literally like another corner. I don't want to put my other guys in danger. But I think Piedmon's in a bad location there. Oof, oof, no. Oh no, oh dear, oh no. Yeah, this is not going to go well for Mugendramon. You did your best. You've done a pretty good job. Please don't miss. Good. Hey, hello Pumpkin Landing, how you going? Coolios. I'm still expecting that not to be the end. I'm still expecting like another phase. Oh, look how happy Spinomon is! Ah, he's so happy! Oh my gosh. That is one happy dinosaur. It's like, I did it. I did it. I can't get over, like, are the other mega level Digimon as good as Mugendramon in this game? Like, he's so powerful. He basically soloed that fight for me. I'm really, really enjoying this game. Like, and like, I'm just enjoying this game more and more every chapter. So, I'm really enjoying the late game. I'm really glad that this whole thing wasn't spoiled for me. Like, I'm just over the moon about that. Because it's something I've always wanted. Spinomon is so cool. Is it Spinomon or Spinomon? But I love him. I mean, I guess Spinomon because of the dinosaur, right? But I love him so much. He's so cute. I don't know why they made him cuter than I would have ever expected. Oh, this is sad. That's sad. I guess now we're gonna mourn her death, even though technically we did just murder her. You feel so bad because, like, a bunch of your friends died? Like, like, half of you died? Yeah. Oh, yay, we murdered our friend. Oh, gosh, we murdered our friend. It's opening wider and wider. Yeah, this is the Wrathful ending I'm playing. Yeah, so what happened in this ending was Aoi dies. Like she heals Piedmon with Labramon, and then Piedmon kills her, and kills Labramon, and then they merge for Plutomon. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I'm enjoying it, but this was my first playthrough. I'm sorry if this ending is the worlds get to like you get to have both Digimon existing in the world. I feel like that seems like a good ending to me. I would like to have. I mean, even though 4 people died, I would like to have a Digimon friend or Kemenogami friend. Dracumon's so cute, and so is Siakamon. To be fair, these were like, I guess, these are probably my 4 favourite well, 3 of my 4 favourite characters, because my other one that I liked was Saki. So I'm glad that these guys survived. I mean, if I had to pick 3 characters to survive, I would pick, honestly, these, like, out of the 8 cast, well, 7 cast, not including the Takuma. But my favourite characters are Minoru, Miu, and Kaito. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this ending. Yeah, that's a good point. Where did Gabumon go? I'm assuming he has something to do with, I'm assuming Omegamon's in this game. So I'm assuming that there's something in another ending with that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to like, having them redeem themselves as people. Is this really why the adventure was meant to end? I'm pretty happy with Digimon existing. Yeah, there were 2 Ultra slots. That's something I'm really interested about. If I had to guess, because the Holy Beasts are in the cave painting area, I'm gonna say one of them is a Holy Beast and the other one's Omegamon. Yeah, Saki is like one of my favorites as well, but these 3 I think I like more than Saki. But I really do like Saki, and I love Floramon. Aww, look, them all smiling. They're almost smiling like they're just like it's the this is fine dog. Aww, that's cute. That's cute. It's like, yeah, so this is fine smiling dog. Like, they're all smiling, and yet, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But also, alternatively, it could be 4 of them, all jog-rest together to become Hanglongmon, because that's like the center. This seems like unless there's some horrific twist, I feel like I'd be happy with the monsters showing up, honestly. Had no time to prepare. I kind of like this. Oh no, never mind. There's chaos. Yeah, there's some ominous music which is making me very nervous. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh. Why are people like this? This is why we don't have Digimon, because people would ruin it for everyone. Gomamon! Yeah, so it's basically the Pokemon world now. This game is absolutely saying ACAB. Gomamon should kill the police. Oh no! Why would people have to ruin us having Digimon? Like... that's a kid. We're like the data squad. We're gonna beat up some but we're gonna beat up cops. That is cool. I have the ACAB ending. I can't believe I got the all caps and bastards ending. Oh, Quinn would love this ending. Also, I just realized we haven't really seen Takuma from that angle much. Oh, this ending is the good ending. Even though, like, the world is bad and people are terrible. But, this ending I'm happy with. It's the, let's beat up the cops. It's weird that the characters all haven't aged. Especially Mew, like, a year when you're a teenager or a kid, like, that you looked... They're also wearing the same clothes. They just said it was a year later. Why are they wearing the same clothes? I know I need to suspend my disbelief in this game about monsters, but why are they wearing the same clothes? Yeah, this is the world that I want. I'm calling this the ACAB ending. They wash them. Yeah, but they're wearing the exact same clothes a year later. And they look exact same. They've got the same haircuts. They haven't aged. This is the superior ending. I would cry if they had to, like, separate from their partners. That would be, in my eyes, the bad ending. This is the good ending. I like this 0-2, everyone gets, like, everyone has a Digimon, or at least most people have Digimon, or some people have Digimon. Oh, they go to camp. Oh, I don't like that. But I like that these guys are rescuing people with Digimon partners. Oh, Gomamon. Oh, I like this ending. I mean, it's sad. It's like, it's a scary world now. And people with Digimon are being taken to camps. That's horrifying. But this whole thing, it's cool. I'm glad that, yeah, they're working against oppressive governments. I like this ending. Oh, okay, now we're just gonna remember that we have dead friends, I guess. Yeah, I'd want to live here. I mean, I want to be fighting, you know, the oppressive governments who get mad if you have Digimon. I wouldn't want to, you know, be put in a camp for having a Digimon. And I think I'd be sad if I didn't have a Digimon. Maybe that's it. Like, people are very jealous, and I think they'd be sad that they didn't get Digimon, and then they would say, well, I must punish everyone who gets a Digimon because I'm jealous. These kids definitely should have PTSD, though. Maybe that's why they haven't changed their clothes. They've got, like, I don't know. They did just murder their friend. Or a year ago, rather. Oh my god, that game was so good! Ah! Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I really like that ending. It was like, I guess I would call that ending bittersweet. Like, it wasn't, you know, I guess the true ending would be like the happy, good ending, but that was like that was, like, I liked, that was a good ending. Like, I'm glad that I got that ending, like, naturally. I'm very happy with that. I don't know what the other endings are. Like, maybe the other endings are just as good as that one, but oh my gosh. That right there, that's a good ending. I really hope I'm not getting... Oh, Puppetmon's in this game. Okay, I was about to say, I'm really hoping I don't get any spoilers by the credits, but apparently Puppetmon's in this game. And so, oh my god, Volcano Otter is one of the Holy Beast. Ah, I'm okay. I guess that confirms that the Holy Beast are in this game. And these names, I'm assuming, are these just like either supporting names or they've actually blacked out names of spoilers? Maybe. Yeah, the Holy Beasts are here. Yeah, I like this ending. This one, this ending's a good. I mean, again, I maybe I'll enjoy the other endings just as much or more, but this ending, this is some good ending. This is, yes, A+. What a good game. That was 100% worth the 4-year wait. Like, that game, I mean, I haven't even played New Game Plus, and I will. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it or not. I might if people want. Yeah, this is the superior Kazuna. You are 100% right with that. But, I was about to say, who is harp? But no, it's an instrument. It's who played instruments. That makes sense. That makes sense. But, yeah, like, I'm really happy with that ending. I feel like it's, like, this is probably my favorite Digimon game now. I loved Cyber Sleuth so much, and I loved Hacker's Memory, but I loved Digimon World 2003. But this game, like, it kind of makes me like annoyed at any place that reviewed it, like either just individuals who just submitted their own reviews on Metacritic or actual game journalist places that played, like, you know, a few chapters and reviewed it off that. And even though I reviewed it based off the first few chapters and everything, like, I will release a full review now that I've done at least like my first playthrough, but it's so hard to gauge this game on just a few chapters alone because my enjoyment kept on going up with each chapter. I know a lot of people were not so interested by the first few chapters, but I definitely felt it got better and better, but I was always interested, so there is that. Usually I'm not like, if there's other endings in a game, I'll be like, I can't be bothered playing the rest, but I actually do want to play the rest for this. And yeah, like, at least the game has the skip unseen, or no, sorry, skip scene text option, so you can just skip through anything that you've seen before. That would make it a lot faster. And yeah, and I mean, everything from chapter 9 onwards, because it splits at the end of chapter 8, will be completely new, I'm assuming, because some people who dropped in the stream were saying, oh, this is completely different from, like, their playthrough, and it's so interesting. And yeah, the other endings could be, I mean, the other endings could be better or worse or the same than this. Like, maybe I got the only enjoyable ending. Maybe all the other ones aren't fun to play. I would heavily doubt that. That seems that it'll be weird. I'm assuming that the truthful ending is fantastic. That's like the true, you know, the pure, the best ending. I don't want to say, like, good ending, because, like, I think they try, like, games with different, like, diverting paths don't seem to call it really a good ending. There's, like, a true ending, and then there's just, like, endings, and then there's the bad ending. So I don't really want to call this, like, a good ending, but it seemed more like a bittersweet ending. But yeah, that was good game. Like, I mean, it had its problems, but my negative is just, like, every negative I have about this game is extremely nitpicky. Like, very minor kind of, like, nitpicks, like the camera angles when you're in battle. And that's about it. I wrote down some negatives for my review. What else do I have? Oh yeah, this is one that I just thought of, like, that I had to write down as soon as I thought of it, because it's such like it's something that I only remember every so often. Like, it's not even something that sticks in my mind. That's how, like, good this game is. Like, even my negatives just kind of, they're not, like, in the front of my brain at all time. They're just so minor. So when you look at the evolution charts in game, it kind of hints to what Digimon, the main characters Digimon, evolve into. And that's kind of like a little bit, like, kind of like, oh, that's surprising. Or less surprising, depending on what you see, and that kind of spoils it because the roster's so small. Yeah, my negatives and profile and name do not appear there. See, I didn't even see that. I'm not even sure if I just clicked past it and just didn't register as an error, but I didn't actually see that shot. Unless I didn't, I'm completely forgetting about it. Which, I mean, I probably saw it and I just forgot. I just didn't think. Because that is a possibility. I was probably screaming about something and then just didn't read it or didn't register as it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's an issue that can be fixed with, like, an update. If they do plan on updating this game and applying bug fixes. But I haven't really seen that many bugs. I heard, like, on release day that people were claiming that there was, like, a game-breaking bug. But I never heard anything else other than just like, oh, apparently there's like you can soft lock your game at some point early on, and that's all I heard. I heard that claim, and then no follow up, and I never heard it again. So I'm not sure if that's real or not. I would say it's not, because usually when there's a soft lock, it's all over the internet. Like, for a game, if something bricks your game, or you have to restart because of something, or if there's a game breaking bug, usually it's all over the internet. Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about, but I'm fairly certain that was fixed anyway, though people did come up with a solution for that pretty early on. But I mean, like, someone said there was, like, you can soft lock your game in, like, one of the chapters, not the cutscene after the prologue. Maybe, I don't know, like, no, like, someone, I think it was a scuttlebutt, like, someone on a Discord server said that they heard that someone mentioned to them that there's a game-breaking issue, and that's all I heard. So it very well might have just been the cutscene crashes, but it could have just, like, you know, Chinese whispers translated into there's a game-breaking bug or a soft lock. I think they used specifically the word soft lock, which usually means, like, you get to a point where you make a mistake and then you can't get past. Yeah, in terms of, I never experienced any freezes or any, like, and it didn't crash at all for me, and I didn't find any bugs. Not that I was looking, but there was one weird translation one where it said that, like, one of the characters said that the Digimon that we were looking for moved towards the shrine, and then someone, or Agumon said that they moved there, and then I said, okay, so the Digimon said that Agumon moved towards the shrine. Like, there was a weird, like, translation issue there. That's the only one I saw. But I'm not gonna, like, criticize it too harshly on having, like, a few translation issues when it's better than Cyber Sleuth in that way. And it doesn't really detract from my enjoyment of the game at all. Like, I still really enjoyed it. It is really, really funny that beating the Plutomon fusion with the Master is so easy. The fact that I could do that and just not get hit by standing off in a corner somewhere, and because I was using Mugendramon, just hit in such a way where I was always hitting. That was funny. Oh yeah, and they called the Patamon the Piomon, but they're just, like, very minor translation ones. Like, very small typos, but they're not rampant. There's not lots of them throughout the game. There's bits and pieces where you're, like, you have a quick chuckle because of it. Or that one scene of, like, the Dakuma's profile is not on display in this scene. The placeholder text. Like, that's just kind of like, that's a funny thing, I'm gonna tweet that. That's that sort of thing. But mostly the translation's fine. Mostly fairly bug-free. One of my other negatives is the befriending Digimon can really suck. It's just like, oh, you have 12% chance of befriending this Digimon. And, I mean, you feel great when you befriend that Digimon when there's only a 12% chance. Like, that's how I got Spinomon. But that's kind of annoying, that the recruiting Digimon. Reverting to child for mid-battle cutscenes, that's kind of weird. The loading screens before battle, but I'm playing it on Switch, so I don't know if it's better on, like... I mean, PS5, I'm assuming that they'll just... Because it's an SSD, there'll be just there'd be no loading screens. Oh, and, yeah, that's what I was thinking. There should be, like, items or something that increase your chances. I thought that if you were a Mega, it could be the same. If you're trying to recruit a Mega and you are a Mega level Digimon, it should increase your chance. Or if you're a higher evolutionary level, it should increase the chance, but it doesn't. That's kind of annoying. And yeah, I did find a few, like, recruiting guides, which are nice so you get your answers, but then your chance is still there. And your chance doesn't increase from the karma, yeah, but that's it. There's no, like, in battle ways. Like, you can't just evolve or reduce its health to try to catch it like you can in, like, you know... I hate making comparisons between Pokemon and Digimon, but in Pokemon you can reduce its health to make it easier to catch, and there's nothing kind of like that. Oh yeah, kind of a weird one. When we have Kaito join the team and we're fighting with Arukenimon, and the other guys are kind of like, you know, we have to rescue them. Everyone else got a cute little evolution moment where it's the Digimon talking to their partner and then they get the evolution, we get an evolution scene. We didn't get that with Dracumon, and it's really weird that we didn't. Dracumon just showed up alongside Kaito, and then we're in the fight, and then the evolution option was just there. That it really actually annoys me, but it's such a minor nitpick. It's more like a pet peeve sort of minor thing. Like, why? Why is that so not... Why is it not there? It's weird that we don't get an evolution animation. It's just, we have the ability. It's just so weird that we can just evolve to Sanglutmon from Dracumon without, like, a moment. But that's, like... That just upsets me irrationally, because I just wanted that moment. I wanted that evolution moment. But, yeah, that's, like... Yeah, those are my negatives. Yeah, and, like, we didn't get, like, any... I know it's because this moment clearly happened off screen. Because, like, they already met by the time we met them. But it would have been nice to get that. It just feels kind of out of place because... I mean, obviously, Ryo and Shuji in New Game Plus will presumably get evolutions. So I'm not sure if we get... I mean, Shuji did kind of get an evolution, I guess, in a way. But, yeah, we just don't get that, like, unless Ryo also gets an off-screen one, which I would doubt. I would have kind of liked if we got that moment between Kaito and Dracumon, if that makes sense. But yeah, these are long credits. I'm not gonna skip them though, because I do like the music. And also it gives me a chance to, like, go over my thoughts about the game, because, as I mentioned, I do have, like, a Digimon Survive review coming out now that I've finished, because while I have reviewed it in a few videos and have talked about it, I couldn't, like, talk about the ending because I hadn't gotten to it yet. Yeah, from my understanding, that some Megas have no 2-point answers. So you only get, like, 1 point, so you have to get it, like... And that's another thing, I don't think how full that bar is actually influences your percentage, because I feel like I've had the same percentage, and I would have expected that bar, depending on how full it is, to increase your chance. I would have preferred if it just asks you the questions, and then the bar fills up, and no matter what, you have a chance to befriend it there, and if it's really low, it'll still want to fight you afterwards, but it should increase your chance, if that makes sense. Oh, really? That's interesting. They have no right answer. That's really annoying. Oh, no right answer is in no 2-point, or no right answer is in everything's a negative? Oh, that's annoying. I mean, I guess it makes sense that Megas are harder to recruit, but also it's kind of weird because they give out the evolutionary slabs to evolve to Mega like cheap candy, but they don't make it easy to catch them. Also, another issue, and okay, this is a translation issue that is just kind of annoying to me, and that's something I mentioned. I think it was in the last stream, and that's that the slabs that evolve your recruitable Digimon aren't translated, or they are translated, but they don't use the correct terminology. They use the Japanese level terminology, so we've got perfect and ultimate, which is really weird because it says the perfect slab says it evolves your Digimon to ultimate, which is not true in the terms of the game, because the game, in English, uses the English terminology. So ultimate is perfect. So it doesn't actually, the perfect slab doesn't actually evolve your Digimon to ultimate, it evolves it to Mega. So that's like the one translation that annoys me, just because of the translation being wrong, it's incorrect. It's not just amusing, it gives you... I know what they're trying to say, but it gives you incorrect information. And if you didn't know that Ultimate is Mega in the Japanese version, then it is just confusing information to give to the user. It doesn't explain it. So if someone picks up this game and doesn't know much about Digimon, they might just say, hey, why isn't this working? Or why does it not come up here? So it's just, it gives you weird information. So that's like one, did I write that one down? Yeah, I did write that one down in my review. But, yeah, so all of my, like, I do have negatives, but they were hard to think of. And yeah, I mean, they did translate the Japanese text, but they would have also translated the Japanese text for the status screen, which says what level they're on. So that's kind of like a weird thing, because they did translate it, but they don't translate the ones in the status screen. Oh yeah, there's also the fact that, like, we call Mugendramon Machine Dramon, but he says that his name is Mugendramon. Oh, also there's Vamdamon, who is Myotismon, and they censor out the demon part. That's just funny to me. So when he evolves, he just goes Vam, and that is funny. Like, I didn't even notice because I was talking over it when I streamed the part where he evolves. But someone said, hey, did he just say Vam? And then when I evolved later on, I'm like, oh no, he does say Vam. Oh, does it really? I haven't evolved, no, I haven't evolved any Digimon to Beelzemon yet. I think I do have an Ultimate Evolution Stone, so I can probably do that. But that is... Yeah, it's something that, like, it's kind of like a weird thing, and... like, you only notice if you're, like, specifically listening, but it just says VAM! I mean, isn't Beelzemon's name just Beelzemon in the English version anyway? So I guess that feels like a weird thing, because they didn't try to change any of the other names, like... So that one seems like they're like, hey, they were trying to be smart. They're like, hey, we can make this sound like the English name. And yeah, we use the word demon, but we also want to censor it out. Like, that seems like a weird thing to do. Like, I don't know. I should probably write that down in my notes. Or maybe I can't remember if I did or not. I'm just gonna write Vamdamon, and I'm hoping that future me understands when I'm looking at my notes when I'm doing that episode. I'll have to listen out when I do evolve a Digimon to that. Yeah, these credits are long. But rightfully so, because this game, as I mentioned, this game is good. I got an interesting comment on YouTube. It's a good one. It's a good comment. Sometimes I get interesting bad ones, but this one's a good one. So I'm just looking at someone's comment to my Digimon Survive early thoughts and review, the game I always wanted. And it's Twilord saying, Digimon taking 25 years to make a game where your personality informs your partner's evolution line is ridiculous. It's like Pokemon taking 25 years to make a game based around real-time Pokeball hunting. And they said they're glad that we finally got such excellent deliveries of those concepts this year. And yeah, this year was good. Like, I loved Arceus. But yeah, I'm really glad that we did that finally. And yeah, it's always, in Digimon games, it's always been like what their stats are that determines how they evolve, but I'm glad that it's more like anime. Oh, I think I might have actually seen that one. Yeah, I think I saw that one. I think it was saying, I know I did see it. I think I mentioned it in the last stream. I think I might have actually deleted it because it was a spoiler. Because I can't actually find it anymore. But I think it was, let me see. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I deleted it because I can't find it anymore. But, yeah, it was saying, I think this is the one you're talking about, but it was a person saying that, in their playthrough, Saki didn't die, it was someone else. Because I want to delete it, because I already read it anyway. So I would want to delete it to see if I haven't already, which I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, I delete it because I can't find the character's name. But yeah, I just wanted to delete it if I hadn't already, which I had, so no one else would see the spoiler, and I already did. So yeah. But that's kind of like, I don't think the person meant to spoil it, or maybe they didn't think that it would be a spoiler because it's from a different path, and I'm not too annoyed by it. It made me kind of come up with some, like, theories just based on that spoiler about what could happen later on, which is kind of a shame. But it's not, like, the worst spoiler. Like, it's not as bad as the person who told me that Kunemon dies. That was a pretty bad spoiler, or like all these people on YouTube using thumbnails with like screenshots from like chapter 10 and putting them in the title as well. Like that annoys me. Like I just haven't scrolled through YouTube because I'm playing this game, and I still probably won't because I do want to try to approach the other endings as spoiler-free as I can. I can't believe these credits are still going. Like, a lot of people worked on this game, and it shows. It feels like such a polished game. Quit game. Yeah, I'm gonna save. That's just so anticlimactic. It's like, quit game. Cleared. Huh. That's sad. Okay, it's just telling me a bunch of things. Mugen recollection unlocked. Okay, so it's just kicking me back to the title. So, do I load from here? Does that give me, like, New Game Plus? Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just going to appear as, like, there. So if I load that, what happens? I guess it puts me in a prologue. Yeah, it does. But, yeah, so that was Digimon... I almost said Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. That's not what it's called at all. So if I save here, I'm guessing it keeps the cleared symbol. Cool. But yeah, I'm just gonna... What do I even have? I can't open status or profile. Or library. I guess that makes sense. I already saved anyway. But yeah, that was Digimon Survive. Really good game. I'm gonna have to do a poll on Twitter whether or not people would be interested in watching me play New Game Plus or not. So I'm just gonna leave it there for tonight, for today's stream. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed playing that game. I'm really excited to even play it immediately and continue on with New Game Plus. That's really cool. I don't often feel that way about a game, especially when I finished it. I'm just like, well, I finished it. I'm not a completionist on video games, and except for Pokemon, which I have a yeah, okay, well you have to vote in the poll when I put that up. So I'll put that up like while I'm waiting for this to the VOD to process on YouTube. But yeah, so thanks y'all for coming along with me for this like upsetting. I'm trying to find a word. It's not even upsetting, it's just emotional. There we are. I don't know why I didn't come up with that word. It's not a complicated word. But I thank you for coming along with this emotional journey with Digimon Survive. Look out for my full story review in the next few days at least, talking about my first playthrough at least. But yeah, so that's such a good game. It's hard to even find words to describe how much I love that game. It is the story from Digimon that I've always wanted, and it's everything I've ever wanted in a Digimon story, and it's all these, and all the themes are something that I've wanted from the anime, or that the anime's touched on very softly, but has never gone that into. So yeah, I love that game. Very excited for New Game Plus even, because I want to see how the character, actually, I want to see what the skipping is. So if I go to, I'm just going to load the data again. I just want to see what these skipping options like. Are there buttons that skip? Let me... maybe I have it off in my settings. Okay, so it should be... It's on red messages. So maybe it's just a button I have to click to skip it. Or maybe it comes later, I don't know. Post-decision dialogue skipping. I guess that's the part 8. Now, how do I skip? You know what? None of my buttons are skipping, so I might have to look that up. Like, how do I... Okay, I found it. It's, the D-pad. I wish that kind of told me that. But, yeah, so that was Digimon Survive. So I'm just gonna end it there. But thanks for coming along to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Look forward to my review in the next few days. I'll put a little bit of a poll. I forgot the word for poll. It's a full letter word. I'm brain dead. I just want to go to bed, I guess. I did the podcast today, so Sundays are always very Digimon, very good days, but at the end of all talking through the podcast and now streaming, I'm just like, I failed to say some words. So yeah, look out for the poll, whether or not I should do New Game Plus for Digimon Survive, if I should stream it, or if I should just do it in my own time. So, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you the next time I stream, or the next video, or what have you, wherever you want to stalk me. If you're watching this on Twitch, don't forget to follow and subscribe if you want to subscribe. And then there's also on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And you're welcome. I'm glad that you came along to see the end of the adventure, and I love that ending. I can't get over that ending. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video or stream or whatever. So just wait for that poll on Twitter. I'll put that up as soon as I'm done. So yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.